Are you ready for this week's JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance, for your viewing pleasure here on WHIG TV? Let's get into it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first week of the high school football season, the JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week, brought to you here on WHIG TV. I'm Wayne Holloman. I'll be your play-by-play voice for tonight's game. Week 1 brings us to Rocky Mount High School to a non-conference tilt between perennial 1A powerhouse Tarboro and Rocky Mount. Really excited for this matchup. Now, as we see the players taking their pregame coin toss, one of the things that you want to make a note of this particular game is this is a game that we have not seen much in the last couple of decades here in this area. This is a game that is not played very often, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later in the broadcast as to why, and I guess it depends on who you ask. But it'll be very exciting to get the season started off tonight. This is a good test for both of these teams. Tarboro, as we mentioned, has won 6 state championships in the last few years. The Griffons have won a couple of state championships themselves. And this is going to be a great game, great way to kick off the season. Fans are filing in as we speak, and we will be right back in just a moment. The open kickoff between the visiting Vikings of Tarboro High School and the Griffons of Rocky Mount.
This week's JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
And welcome back to coverage of Week 1 of the high school football season. The JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week, as we mentioned in pregame, between the visiting Vikings of Tarboro High School and the home Griffons of Rocky Mount. Very exciting Week 1 matchup that we are glad to bring to you here on WHIG TV. This is a rivalry that I guess it's hard to call it a rivalry in a way because they very seldom play, which is unfortunate because the fans of both of these schools really want to see this game. I'll tell you a little bit more about perhaps why they don't play very often. a little bit later on in the broadcast. But Tarboro won the toss and elected to kick off first. So they will be sending it deep into the end zone for the Griffons. With the kickoff, it is caught at the 5-yard line and brought up to the 27 by Elijah Battle.
Elijah Battle on the return. Tackle made by Jason Higgs.
Fans continuing to file in, about 80 game time temperature, which is not exactly football weather, but it is still the middle of August. And the Griffons will set up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Stephon Jones is the quarterback. He looks over to the sideline. It is caught near the first down yard marker.
Complete to number 21, Alphonse.
Celio Alphonse on the reception. He's going to pick up about 9 yards. And it'll be 2nd and 1 for the Griffons. It'll be interesting to see how quickly the Griffons get out. They're known for rushing the ball quite a bit in the past. We'll see how quickly they go back to that rush game, or will they air it out early. Looking at 2nd and 1 here. Jones hands the ball off, and not much doing on that play. Cameron Jones was your ball carrier. Dozier tackles him for the Vikings. About a yard loss on the play is going to bring up 3rd and 2 now for the Griffons. Sun making its way behind the building here. As you can still see some shadows out on the field, but it won't be long before we're totally needing the lights here this evening. Jones hands the ball off, and there is going to be another loss on the play. Elijah Battle was the ball carrier, and he's going to lose another 2 yards on the play. Dozier on the tackle again. That is his 2nd tackle in this one drive, and it is going to force the Griffons into a 3 and out here on their opening possession of tonight's game.
Deshaun Ward to punt.
Ward will be punting for the Griffons. And Joyner and Dozier deep to receive for. I don't know if it was touched or not, but there is a mad scramble near the 20-yard line. I don't believe that he actually touched the ball, but he's going to lose about 10 to 15 more yards. The Vikings do recover, and they will set up at their own 18-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. This game was originally scheduled for Friday, August 20th, and due to inclement weather threat, they decided to move it to a Thursday. Not sure how many of the perceived attending fans were on schedules tonight, but still people filing in as we speak. Quarterback Omarion Lucas hands the ball off to Trevon White, and he is met behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to lose about a yard on the play. Bring up 2nd and 11 for the Vikings. Both of these schools with very, very rich football history, very great, take great pride in their program, so this should be an excellent game here tonight. Ball is handed off to Tobias Joyner. Joyner scampers across the 25, and he is near the 27-yard line. Picks up about 8 yards on the play, but it'll still leave the Vikings about 2 yards short of a first down. It'll be 3rd and 2 here. Both of these teams, this is their first chance to really get out and test themselves, and you get tired of hitting your teammates in practice. You're ready for that first game, and so you can tell there's a lot of excitement on. And to Trayvon White, he is met prior to getting back to the line of scrimmage. He's actually going to line of scrimmage, but he fought his way for a game. The chains for Trayvon White and bring up a first down for the Vikings. I didn't think he had gotten there at first. There's a flag on this play, got some movement up front. It will be a false start by the Vikings. They'll back it up 5 yards, making it 1st and 15. The whistle on the play. I don't know exactly what stopped the ball. They were having to mark it. Had to take it back an extra yard. It wasn't exactly placed where it was supposed to be. So it'll be 1st and 15 here for the Vikings on their first possession. Ball is handed off to Jamarion Dozier. He is met well behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose at least 4 or 5 yards on that play. Brings up a good 2nd and 18 here with 7:30 to go in the first quarter. Griffons already had to punt on their first possession. It was a 3 and out. The Vikings have got a first down here, but they are backed up here on their second possession. Lewis is scrambling to the right side, airs it out, and the pass is incomplete near the 40-yard line. It was intended for tight end Leighton Dupree.
Lewis's pass is incomplete.
And it falls incomplete, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 17 for the Vikings. You know, these players are excited to hit the field for things that have just not been normal for them in the last year with the COVID restrictions and protocols put in place. They're eager to get out there and play football. 3rd and 17, the ball is handed off. A little extracurricular activity there. He was drugged down by the jersey. The ball was handed to Tobias Joyner, and he was ripped down to the ground. His helmet flew off. A little surprised we didn't see a flag there for a little extracurricular activity. That was almost a horse collar-like tackle as he was almost ripped his jersey off. It's going to be about a 3-yard loss, and the Vikings are now staring 4th and 20 in the eye, and they will bring on kicker Leighton Dupree to punt this away. He is back at the 10-yard line, and the Griffons have Cameron Jones and Jaquan Horn deep to receive. They're both standing at midfield. There's a flag on the play. Delay of game on the Vikings. That will back them up an additional 5 yards, and will make Leighton Dupree punt near the 5-yard line now. I want to mention some of our sponsors of tonight's game. New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans apply today. They have 2 locations to serve you at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro. New Southern Loans, one of tonight's sponsors. Dupree's kick is up, and it is a pretty decent kick, caught and fumbled at the 50-yard line. Cameron Jones does the smart thing as he fumbles the ball to just locate it and fall on it. And that situation, you definitely don't want to try to pick. Realized he had fumbled the football and just cover that. Nothing good happens when you try to scramble, knowing you could get hit any moment. So good play there by Cameron Jones. And the Griffons will now take over their second possession of the night at their own 47-yard line. Vikings back to work on defense. Jones lines up in the shotgun. High snap. He looks to his left, and he is flushed out of the pocket. He scrambles across midfield. 4 yards as he gets to the 48-yard line of
Jones.
Looked like he was looking for a receiver downfield, but the receiver was well covered, and Jones kept the ball and scrambled and picked up about 5 yards. We're looking at 2nd and 5 now. 5:40 to go in the first quarter of the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV Game of the Week. Gun again, one back. 2 receivers out to his right, but Coach Jason Battle did not like what he saw. He will call a timeout, and while he adjusts the play that he didn't like, we will take a quick break here on the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
This week's JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
7 to go in the first quarter. No score between the Vikings of Tarboro and Rocky Mount. Jones hands the ball off to number 34, is running back Hayward.
Distant Hayward, the ball carrier. Tackle made by Joyner.
Hayward picks up about 2 yards on the play. It will bring up 3rd down for the Griffons, 3rd and 3. 4:51 to go in the first quarter. The JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School. Get the feeling that the team that scores first tonight, it will be in this game. Both teams with good defenses. The first score is going to be mighty important. As Jones is in the shotgun, he releases the ball at the 50-yard line. It is caught at the 35. A couple of extra yards gained on the play. Celio Alphonse on the reception.
Pass is caught by Alphonse. Tackle made by Joyner. It is a Griffon.
He made the catch at the 35-yard line, felt the tackle, and then fought for 2 additional yards to get a first down here with 4 minutes and 1 second remaining. As the Griffons are marching the ball down the field, they have the 1st and 10 now at the Viking 33. Jones in the shotgun with one back, 3 out to his left. And the ball is handed off to Cameron Jones. Jones will fight his way for a couple of yards.
Jones, the ball carrier.
Picks up about 4 or 5. We'll say
Tackle made by Jones.
We'll say 4 to bring up 2nd and 6. Ball is placed at the 30-yard line of the Vikings. We're to 2nd and 6 for the Griffons. Barely any sunlight left on the field as the sun continues to go down. The lights will be taking effect soon. Jones now tight end. He hands the ball off on the right side. The ball is handed off to Elijah Battle. He scampers but could not find any running room. He will lose a couple of yards on the play. Amari Battle in on the tackle for the Vikings.
It is 3rd down.
Bring up 3rd and 8 for the Griffons. We have seen the Griffons mix it up quite early here. They're going to the air and the ground pretty equally, about 50-50. Jones and the shotgun. He airs it out to the right side. It is complete to number 21, Celio Alphonse.
Jones's catch is made by Alphonse.
He is near the 20-yard line, and it is definitely good for a first down. Tremaine McDaniel forces him before Alphonse picks up a first down for Griffons at the 20-yard line. First and 10 for the Griffons, 2 minutes to go, still no score. Jones hands the ball off once again to Elijah Battle. He's over to the right, a yard on the play.
Elijah Battle, the ball carrier.
White
on the tackle.
An impressive mix-up so far for the Griffon offense. As I mentioned, in years past, they have been a very run-heavy offense, but so far in this first quarter, which is moving along very quickly, they have aired it out and kept it on the ground very equally, trying to keep Tarboro off balance. But it helps to have some of the weapons that they have on their team. Got some great backs as well as some receivers. Jones is in the shotgun again with one back. He's going to air it out to the left side. It is out near the end zone, and it is caught for a Griffon touchdown. Celio Alphonse on the touchdown reception. There's a little jostling there for position right there at the end of the play, but Alphonse was able to shake off the defender, go up in the air, catch the ball, and retain it, and bring it in for a Griffon touchdown. Really impressed with Stephon Jones' poise early in this game. He has looked very comfortable in the pocket, and his offensive line is doing a heck of a job so far in protecting him and giving him plenty of chance to throw the football. He really hasn't even been rushed yet. The Griffons are going to go for 2. The ball is handed off to number 5, Cameron Jones. He was signaled good, but there is a flag holding on the Griffons that will negate the 2-point conversion. They had it, but back. As I mentioned, very impressive job by this offensive line of the Griffons. Stephon Jones has had a lot of time to find his receivers, and they've done a good job running their route so far, and very crisp second series for the Griffons after a 3 and out on their first possession. Now we will see if they will go for 2 again with this penalty, or they will kick it. And they are going for 2 here, even backed up as far as they are. I hate to say this, but they just must have no confidence in their kicker. Jones in the shotgun. He's looking left, and he is getting flushed to the right, and he is going to be almost forced down. What an amazing job by Jones. He should have been tackled twice. He eluded two tacklers, spun out around 20, was unable to get past that third. And that two-point conversion will be unsuccessful. And with 1:08 left in the first quarter, your score, Rocky Mount 6, Tarboro 0. We'll take a quick break here and be right back on the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week.
JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
And with 1:08 remaining in the first quarter, welcome back to the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Football Game of the Week. We are at Griffon Stadium. Tarboro Vikings and the Griffons. That is a squib kick that barely even went 10 yards. I'm not sure if that was just completely botched or that was actually a squib kick intent to be a super onside kick. But nonetheless, the Vikings were prepared and they fell on the football. And they will take over near midfield. Looks like at their own 49-yard line. Griffons appear to not rely heavily on the kicking game, as we saw them still go for a 2-point conversion even after a 10-yard penalty after. Lewis in at quarterback. He pitches the ball to number 15, Dozier. Dozier looking for room on the right side. There is none to be found. DeAndre Lynch in on the tackle for the Griffons, and he is going to drop Dozier for a 6-yard loss and make it 2nd and 16 for the Vikings. The Vikings so far have struggled to find any momentum. They have not been able to move the ball well so far. This Griffon defense is swarming these running backs so far. Lewis will hand the ball off once again. This time the ball's handed off to Tobias Joyner. He picks up 4 or 5 yards on the play. He's still not back to the original line of scrimmage. It is 3rd and 12 for the Vikings.
That is the end of the first quarter.
And that is going to be the end of the first quarter with your score, Griffon 6, Tarboro Vikings 0. One of our sponsors, Small Shops Mall, located at 20 2916 Sunset Avenue in the former Steinmart building. Visit small shops for dozens of locally owned shops inside. Also opening soon, Trade It, located adjacent to Small Shops Mall. Also, this game brought to you by Don Bullock Chevrolet. Always do it the better way at Don Bullock Chevrolet. That is the end of the first quarter with your score Rocky Mount 6, Tarboro 0. We'll be right back after a quick break on JR's Maintenance WHIG TV Game of the Week.
JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
And welcome back to the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week. We are opening the second quarter with the Vikings facing a 3rd and 12. Marion Lewis, the Viking quarterback, on the keeper. He is flushed to the right side and forced out of bounds near midfield. He does not pick up any yards on the play. And the Viking offense is staring at a 4th and long as the Griffon defense holds once again. That is the Vikings' 3rd possession, and on these 3 possessions, they only have 1 first down. Give credit to this stingy Rocky Mountain defense because the but there is a flag on the play, and for the 2nd time this evening, the Vikings will give up 5 free yards on a delay of game penalty, and that will back it up 5 yards. Dupree now stands at his 30-yard line. Griffons must not be expecting much of a punt here. Dupree here to even receive the punt, and it will roll, take a very fortuitous Tarboro bounce and down to the 17-yard line. Very good bounce there for the Vikings, and that will pin the Griffons back to their own 17-yard line to start their next possession. You know, we talked about in the pregame about this is a rivalry that the fans have always wanted to see, but for some reason, this game is just not played very often. They tried to play this game and got in about a quarter and a half, and lightning rolled in and forced the players off the field, and they never got back together to resume the game, so it was just tossed out. And that was the first time these two teams had played in a long time. So it's a crosstown rivalry that you would expect to see, but very often. Stephon Jones hands the ball off to Jaquan Horn. Horn picks up about 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7. And as I mentioned, like I say, it's a rivalry game that, two teams with very rich football traditions. We know Tarboro has won 6 or 7 state championships in the last decade or so, and Rocky Mountain has won a couple as well. So it's a game that the fans want to see, but for some reason we just don't get it often. Stephon Jones in shotgun. He airs it out near midfield, and it is caught by Demare. By Stephon Jones. Another first down. Once again, I must say, Stephon Jones is looking incredible here in the early stage. Credit to this offensive line, just continues to protect him and give him one time. Finding his receivers. Jones in the shot again, but there will be a Tarboro is a 1A school, perennial powerhouse at the 1A level, and Rocky Mount at 3A. So there's a lot of talk there that, Rocky Mount has dodged the game in the past because of fear of losing to a 1A school. I don't know if there's much merit to that, but you hear that. Jones hands the ball off to Cameron Jones, and he scampers across midfield. You look at it, he picks up about 8 yards on the play. It's going to bring up about 2nd and 6 for the Griffons. But you think about it and you look at it from Rocky Mount's perspective, if Rocky Mount is to beat Tarboro, everybody will say, oh, well, you're a 3A school. Of course you should beat a 1A. So they don't really stand much to gain, whereas they stand everything to lose, perhaps, from losing to a 1A school. So perhaps that has something to do with why this game is not played very often. Stephon Jones hands it off to Cameron Jones again. Whereas if Tarboro is to win, then all of a sudden it's a little more humiliating for the Griffons to take a loss to a 1A school. So that's the speculation as to, take it for what it's worth. I don't know, you talk to the coaches and the ADs about that, but that's what many fans have been left to surmise as to why these two don't meet very often. But they're here tonight. We're glad they're here tonight. And 7:55 to go in the second quarter. Jones hands the ball off for the 3rd consecutive play to running back Cameron Jones.
Cameron Jones on the carry.
And he is forced out of bounds across the 40-yard line.
Flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play. I'll wait and see what that. Negate that play for the Griffons. I believe they were looking at a first down there, but the block in the back will back it up. And we will redo 3rd down for the Griffons. 7:47 remaining. One of our sponsors once again. In Tarboro. Go visit New Southern Loans today. 3rd and 5 for the Griffons. Jones lined up in the shotgun. He's got 1 back, 2 to his right. He's looking to the right. He's flushed back. Defense is on him, chased by number 8. And that ball is hit right as he threw He was looking to the right. Great defense there by Jaden Washington, who hits Jones on. So it is an incomplete pass, not a fumble. But it will bring up 4th and 6 for the Griffons here at the 50-yard line, and they appear to be going for it, and why not, the way their defense has played so far here this evening. They feel pretty confident if they don't get it here that the defense can. 6 is a timeout. Coach Jason like what he saw, or he picked up on something and just wanted to see how Tarboro was lined up, but he will be charged with a timeout. And we will also take that timeout and be right back here on the JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week.
JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
And welcome back to the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week. 7:18 to go in the first half with the Griffons up 6-0. Tarboro. Jones in shotgun, looking to his left. And that pass was intended for Celio Alphonse. Nowhere near Alphonse. And that was pretty much the first time it looked like the same page all night, as that pass was incomplete. Will take over exactly where the ball line. So we'll see if the Vikings can get anything going. Tarboro fashion, they are in the game. An 11-yard gain, but there is a flag on the play, and it will be coming back for a chop block penalty on the Vikings. So just as they were about to get their biggest play of the night, it is negated with a chop block. And that'll be, I believe, a 15-yard penalty. So instead of an 11-yard gain, it will be a 15-yard penalty for the Vikings. It's going to set up 1st and 25 for the Vikings. And with the way the Rocky Mountain defense has settled in so far in this game, not where you want to be set up if you're Tarboro. Marion Lewis hands the ball off. Ball was handed off to Jamari Wade. D'Angelo Johnson on the tackle for the Griffons. Tarboro continues to keep the ball on the ground here. They have not seemed comfortable with putting it in the air often. But this Rocky Mount defense is flying all over the place, negating the ground game as well as the passing attack from the normally potent Tarboro Vikings. You had to wonder how the Vikings would respond. I mean, keep in mind Tarboro is a 1A school, and one of the knocks on Tarboro is that they don't play a lot of competition. And they will go weeks at a time without really playing any type of competition. So it is interesting to see a game when they jump up and play at the 3A level, how they respond. So I'm sure Coach Jeff Craddock is watching a lot of things here, and it is game one of the season. We have 6 minutes left in the first half, 3rd and 23 with the Griffons holding a 6-0 lead here. And as we mentioned, that's just the things that you watch. Tarboro, obviously a perennial powerhouse, but if you look at their schedule, they go out and they win 55-0, 60-0, 70-7, and the level of play competition is not always stout for them. Now, once they get deeper into the 1A playoffs, they meet good competition and tend to still do well, as we know with 7 state championships. But this is a big-time test and a big-time step up for the Vikings. Marion Lewis hands the ball off to Tobias Joyner on 2nd and long. Joyner is going to gain about 6 or 7 yards.
It is now 3rd down.
Still 3rd and long for Tarboro. At some point, Tarboro is going to have to make some adjustments here on offense and begin to air it out. They continue to stay on the ground. And the ground game is not working for the Vikings so far in this contest. 3rd and 17 with 6 minutes to go in the first half. Lewis will line up. It's a high snap in the shotgun. He is going to fumble the football, and it is recovered by the Griffons.
Been recovered by the Griffons.
It looked like Lewis tried to cut, and right when he made that cut, just did not have the ball secure, and it just popped right out.
38-yard line.
And the Griffon defenseman was right there to recover the football, fell right on it, and it will be a turnover, and the Griffons will take over at the Viking 38-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 for the Griffons. 5:48 to go in the first half of the JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week. JR's Maintenance Commercial and Industrial Metal Fabrication Services, proud as always to support all student athletes in the area. Stephon Jones takes his offense back to the field in the shotgun, and right as he receives the snap, another flag on the play. It's been a penalty-marred first half. False start on the Griffons, and it'll back it up 5 yards.
1st and 15 for the Griffons.
It is game number 1, so you can't expect it to be fully crisp and clean, as most of these coaches would expect and like, but you got to expect some of those game day jitters to be there, and there are going to be some uncharacteristic penalties in the game. 1st and 15 with 5:48 to go. Jones in the shotgun receives the snap. He's going to hand the ball off to number 17, Elijah Battle. And Battle is dropped near the 45-yard line.
Jamari Wade on the tackle.
Jamari Wade in on the tackle for the Vikings. I would expect to see Jones going to the air again on this possession. He's been fortunate to link up with Alphonse on several long plays. The passing attack has been good to the Griffons here early. I would expect them to continue to air that out a little bit. Jones lines up in the shotgun. He's got one back, two receivers to his left, one to his right. The snap to Jones. He's back. He's flushed. He's heading down the left side. Scampers around 2 tackles.
Stephon Jones
And
on
he
the carry.
is forced out at the 35-yard line.
By Jason Higgs. It is 3rd down.
He picked up about 9 yards on the play, but with the opening penalty, still looking at 3rd and 6 with 5:05 remaining in the first half of the JR's Maintenance WHIG-TV High School Game of the Week. 6-0 Griffons here in the first half. Jones will now line up directly under center. Takes the snap and hands off to Cameron Jones, and Jones has absolutely nowhere to go. He is met
Tackled by Joshua Bradley
at the line of scrimmage. Joshua Bradley in on the tackle for the Vikings. And that'll bring up 4th and 7 for the Griffons. Clock continues to roll, 4:35 to go in the first half. Griffons 6, Vikings 0, and as they have done on their other 3 fourth down possessions, the Griffons will go for it here. Jones in the shotgun. He receives it. He is looking to his left, back to the middle, and he is met.
Jones is
He is dropped at the 42-yard line. Nazavion Black on the sack for the Vikings. I give a lot of credit to Coach Craddock and his defense, as they have certainly made some adjustments here on the last 2 drives. That O-line is not holding up as well for the Griffons as it has early. Give credit to the Tarboro defensive line, as they have been able to penetrate that offensive line in the last couple of drives and stall this Griffon offense that was just starting and really settle in. So give credit to the defensive coordinators, Vikings, for making adjustments and flipping the script here, and now they will take over. Omarion Lewis will line up his offense. He is under center with 2 backs, 2 receivers to the right. Ball is handed off once again, and nothing happening there on this play. 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. We're just now under 4 minutes, with the Griffons still holding a 6-0 lead. DeAndre Lynch in on that stop for the Griffons. So both defenses playing well here in the first half. Lewis under center with 2 backs and 2 to his right. He is going to pitch the ball to number 20. It is fumbled again. And I believe the Griffons have it again. And they do. And for the 2nd consecutive possession, the Griffon defense has forced a fumble. Tobias Joyner, it looked like he never really totally got hold of that ball. It was pitched to him. It appears as if Joyner tried to make that turn before he had secured the football and was bobbling it a little bit, and the end result was a fumble. And that's kind of the dangers that you run here with as good as this Griffon defense has been so far. He's kind of in Joyner's head there a little bit, realizing he needed to make that cut, and he tried to make that cut before he had secured the football. And when defenses are playing as well as this Griffon defense is, those little jittery plays are going to happen. Stephon Jones in the shotgun. This time Jaquan Horn receives the snap.
Tackle made by Brinson.
A little Wildcat offense there for the Griffons as they shifting things up a little bit, trying to shake up the play here. Horn gaining about 3 yards on the play to bring up 2nd and 7. So Jaquan Horn is in at quarterback now Stephon Jones is on the sideline. I don't know if they're making some adjustments or just giving him a quick breather. He might have been tired on that last possession. Snap goes to Jaquan Horn. He's over to the left. He breaks several tackles. He is across the 25-yard line. As I mentioned, I don't know that it was necessarily that Stephon Jones wasn't playing well as much as he might have just needed a series off. That is 2 straight possessions where the Vikings have turned the ball over on a fumble, so Stephon Jones hasn't had much time to recover on the sidelines. So I believe that's probably why Jaquan Horn is in, but needless to say, he just picked up about 20 yards on that scamper. So that's one thing about this Griffon offense. They can roll out so many different weapons. And we have a false start on the Griffons. Once again, very sloppy penalties here in the early going. You could see the coaches just jump in unison. Coach Jason Battle and his assistants were not exactly happy with that lack of discipline there. I'll bring up 1st and 15 with 2:23 to go. Keep in mind, the Vikings will receive the second half kickoff here. Stephon Jones has been reinserted into the lineup. He is back, and he is forced way back. He was pushed all the way back to the 45-yard line. Leighton Dupree sacking Jones in his first snap from coming back off the bench, and he is going to lose, I'm thinking, almost 20 yards on that play there. You know, that's the situation where, you know, Stephon Jones has played very well so far, but that's a situation where you gotta get rid of that football. You got to throw that football near someone, not to get an intentional grounding, but he cannot absorb a 20-yard sack loss there. Got to do a little bit better on that possession. Jones receives the snap. He's going to fire it to the left side, intended for Elijah Battle, and it is incomplete. Battle was there, but the pass was a little low, a little below his knees, maybe just out in front of him just a bit. Jones is throwing some tight spirals here today. Very impressive how he is throwing that football, but he underthrew his intended receiver, Elijah Battle, on that play. 3rd and 30 for Griffons with 1:24 to go here in the first half. Be interesting to see if they just go for the long pass here or just kind of play it safe here and try to run this clock out and get to the locker room. And another flag on the play. And that is another false start for the Griffon offense. I believe in the first half. And that is just not going to sit well with Coach Jason Battle. Coach Jason Battle, a bit of Rocky Mountain 8. Send a special shout out to that class. Just happened to be the class I graduated in as well. So kudos to Coach Battle, and he was a pleasure, great friend of mine in high school, and I'm very pleased to see the success he has brought to this football program. Jones airs it out deep to the left side. Oh, and it was almost caught by number 21, Alphonse. It had a lot of air under it and plenty of time for Alphonse to get under it, and then the 2 receivers kind of fell off of Alphonse and had the ball. Could have very easily come down with that, but he was unable to do so, and it will bring up now 4th and 35, and I would expect the Griffons to do some form of punting here.
Jason Ward in to punt.
Jason Ward will be in to punt for own territory and hope that they just play it safe and play this clock out. The snap is very low, and Ward is fortunate enough to get a punt away right as he was pressured, and he was able to punt it down to the 10-yard line.
Rolls dead at the 12-yard line.
Great job by Jason Ward there. He was pressured, almost fumbled it, and gave the ball away with 1:10 remaining in the first half. Here on the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week, it is Griffon 6, Vikings 0. This game also brought to you in part by Don Bullock Chevrolet. Don't forget to do it the better way at Don Bullock Chevrolet. Also Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building. Dozens of locally owned shops. Also opening soon, Trade It, adjacent to Small Shops Marketplace. Just a minute remaining in the first half. Marion Lewis hands the ball off, and I would expect Tarboro to just pretty much play it safe at this point. One thing you do not want to have happen at this point of the game is to throw an interception deep in your own territory. If they were to throw an interception here, it would put the Griffons in great position to punch something in. So expect the Vikings to pretty much play it safe and run it out. You know, the score is not really indicative of some of the play that we've seen. There's been some big-time plays on the offensive side of the ball here in this game, but the defenses on both ends have just really stepped up in timely manner to keep this a low-scoring affair. And that will probably be our final play of the first half. And it
Wait again, the ball carrier.
will be. And that will send us to the locker room, ladies and gentlemen, with a first half score of Rocky Mount
That is the end
6
of the first half.
and
Score
Tarboro
the Griffon
0. So now
Vikings 0.
both coaches, both coaching staffs
The
will
students of Rocky Mount High
take the
School,
opportunity
North
to
Carolina
gather
High
their
School
respective
Athletic
teams
of the Big East Conference.
into the locker
Would like
room
to
and make some
remind our
adjustments.
fans and visitors that the
And we will take a break here on the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV Game of the Week, and we'll be back in just a moment with second half action. Stay with us.
This smoke-free football.
JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
And welcome back to the second half of the JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week here on WHIG TV. JR's Maintenance Commercial Industrial Metal Fabrication Services, always proud to support the student athletes. The Vikings will be receiving the second half kickoff. And it is another squib kick Fumbled but recovered at the 40-yard line where the Vikings will take over.
The ball is recovered by Mario Lewis.
Mario Lewis falls on the ball for the Vikings. Be interesting to see here early in the second half what adjustments both coaches made. Teams. Tarboro kept it predominantly on the ground during the first half. Griffons. Marion Lewis under center. He hands the ball. Joyner with a good opening surge.
Tackle made by Jason Ward.
Jason Ward on the tackle for the Griffons. 8-yard gain on the play for Joyner. Brings up 2nd and 2 for Vikings. Joyner lines up under center. He's got one receiver out to his right and 3 backs. And there's another flag on the So far, the penalties have not been cleaned up. I'm sure that was a big order of concern for the coaches in the locker room. Trying to clean up some of these penalties. The Griffons were charged with 6 false starts in the first half, and now the Vikings start their first drive with a 5-yard negating Joyner's big opening run. Lewis lines up with 3 backs, no receivers out, and he'll hand the ball. And may have fought for an additional yard or 2, but he's still going to be a little bit short of the first down yard marker. Gained about 5 on the play. 1 for the Vikings. We'll see if they can move the chains here to start the second half, or will the Griffon defense continue to hold. Their first half. And they will pick up their second first down of the game here on that possession as Lewis hands the ball off for a 5-yard gain. And that will move the chains for the Vikings. So much better start. Momentum going. Tarboro is not used to being shut out in any half. So they definitely need to get out. Joyner under center, hands off once again to Joyner. Gains about 3 yards on the play.
Joyner the ball carrier. Lynch on the tackle.
Lynch on the tackle for the Griffons. Bring up 2nd and 7 for the Vikings. Lewis under center. He's going to hand the ball off once again, this time to Dozier. Dozier runs off to the right side. Didn't find any running room there and tried to cut back up the middle. He was met by Taquan Williams. Gains 1 yard on the play, and will bring up 3rd and 4 for the Vikings. We'll see if they can continue to keep their momentum going and pick up their second first down of this drive. 9:14 remaining in the third quarter with your score Rocky Mount 6, Tarboro 0 on the JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week here on WHIG TV. Marion Lewis hands the ball off once again to Tobias Joyner. Joyner has been his go-to back. And we have an injured Griffon on the play. Joyner picks up 5 yards, which is enough to move the chains. And
First down for the
a
Vikings.
second consecutive first down for the Vikings, who have come out aggressive. And you know that they're running because they're not even lining up any receivers out to either side. The ball is pitched. No back there to receive it. And Lewis, realizing that no one was there to receive the pitch, was aware enough to go back and fall on the football. Very fortunate there. That could have been the fourth turnover for the Vikings in this game. If you remember, 3 fumbles in the first half that really negated a lot of the progress they were making. But give Lewis credit there. The play broke down, realized the ball didn't go where it was intended, and he was aware enough to fall on the football and not lose possession. But it's going to bring up 2nd and 15, and we have a timeout on the field charged to the Griffons, which will give us an opportunity to run down some of our sponsors of tonight's game. Edgecombe Community College, your success is our goal. This game also brought to you by New Southern Loans. Personal and auto loans apply today with 2 locations to serve you at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson, 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro. Our main sponsor, JR's Maintenance. Proud to support student athletes, commercial and industrial metal fabrication services at JR's Maintenance. Also, Don Bullock Chevrolet, do it the better way at Don Bullock Chevrolet, and Small Shops Mall at 2916 Sunset Avenue in the former Steinmart building. Dozens of locally owned shops inside of Small Shops. Also opening soon, a Trade It located adjacent to Small Shops. 7:59 remaining in the third quarter. Still a low-scoring affair here. 6-0 in favor of the home-standing Griffons, as these 2 perennial powerhouses meet for just the second time in several decades. 2019 was the first time these schools had played in years. Lewis hands the ball off once again to number 24, Tobias Joyner. Very interesting formation that the Vikings continue to line up in. They're lining up 3 backs.
Tackled by Cameron Jones.
And Tobias Joyner has received pretty much all of the handoffs here in this half. They are obviously going to run the ball. They're not even lining up receivers to the left or the right. So interesting that the Griffons are having a difficult time stopping them. But it'll bring up 3rd and 9 here. They're finally going to line up 2 receivers to the left side with Joyner still in the backfield. Lewis drops into the shotgun. Now he'll get back up under center, actually. And he looks to air it out, throws it to the right side. That pass intended for number 2, Nazavion Black. And that pass is broken up by Jason Ward. That is the first pass attempt of the second half for the Vikings. He didn't get much on that pass. Very high up in the air, and the Griffon defenders had plenty of opportunity to get up under that ball, and it was knocked away by Ward and others. Leighton Dupree will drop back to the 50-yard line and punt for the Vikings. Ward back deep to receive for the Griffons. And we have a flag on the play. False start again on the Vikings. And that will back them up even more, where the ball will be now spotted at the 40-yard line, so that'll bring Dupree back across midfield. Ward still, I don't know if you can call that deep for the Griffons. He's barely behind his own line. And Dupree kicks it and gets a very favorable Viking bounce. And they are able to fall on the football right at the 1-yard line. A great last-second attempt there to keep the ball from rolling into the end zone. And the Griffons will have to set up shop at their own 1-yard line and now have to go 99 yards on this next drive to get a touchdown. And the way these 2 defenses have been playing here in this game tonight, a 99-yard drive is not likely. Just saying. But nonetheless, the Griffons will bring their offense back to the line. Stephon Jones in at quarterback. He has a back in the backfield and a receiver to his left. But there is another false start penalty on the Griffons, bringing that count up to 8 for the game now. But there's nowhere for them to go, nowhere for them to back up. So that will still be 1st and 10 at their own 1-yard line. Jones hands the ball off to number 34.
Destin Hayward, the ball carrier.
Destin
Tackle
Hayward.
made by Amari Tanner.
And Hayward is barely back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe picked up a tough yard. We'll call it 2nd and 9 just to give him the benefit of the doubt. But he was met shortly from the line of scrimmage, and the Griffons will continue to move forward here. Not much space to operate here. You got to be really careful here when your ball pinned to your own 1-yard line. Jones tried to draw some offsides there, and Tarboro did not bite. And now we do have a flag, and it is going to be a delay of game on the Griffons. Not a bad idea there by Jones to try to deke the defensive line into jumping there. Definitely needs to create himself some more space, but good discipline there by the Viking defensive line there not to jump there. And by the time Jones realized he needed to do something different, he was out of time, hence the delay of game. But once again, nowhere to penalize them. They're pinned up to their own 1-yard line. 2nd and 9 with 5:49 to go. In quarter number 3, Griffons still up 6-0 on the JR's maintenance game of the week. Jones airs the ball out to the 30, and it is broken up. The pass was intended for Celio Alphonse. Jason Higgs was step for step with Alphonse there, and he broke up the pass. Probably a pass Stephon Jones might want to get back and get a little less air under that ball. That gave the defender a chance to get there and break that up. So now the Griffons will be faced with a 3rd and 10 at their own 1. Got to be careful here. Jones will hand the ball off to Cameron Jones. Jones looked to have an initial burst, initial opening there, but that hole was closed very quickly by the Tarboro defense. Cameron Jones may have picked up 2 on the play, but we're still looking at 4th and 8 for the Griffons here with just around 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter.
On the concession stand, Chick-fil-A sandwiches and pizza are still available.
And that'll bring number 20, Jason Ward, in, and he Coach Jason Battle, furious with Hayward. And it will cause a delay of game penalty once again to be assessed to the Griffons. There's absolutely nowhere for Jason Ward to be here. You can fully expect the Tarboro defense to come all out at Ward here. They would love nothing more to get on the scoreboard here than to block this punt. Now Ward is fortunate enough to get the punt off. It lands at the 35, takes a bounce to the 40, where it's received by number 15, Jamarion Dozier. And Dozier is able to get the ball to the 30. This is going to be the best field position of the night for the Vikings to start a drive.
Marion Dozier on the return. Tackled by
We will see if they can finally get into the end zone here as they will start this drive. 1st and 10 at the Griffon 29-yard line. Coach Craddock and company got to be thinking, get on the scoreboard here. And with the way these defenses have played, every point is going to matter from here on out as we have 4:28 to go in the third quarter. Omarion Lewis brings his offense. He has 3 backs and 1 out to the right. Snap goes to Lewis. He hands off once again, this time to Dozier.
Kamarion Dozier on the carry.
Dozier picks up 3 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 7 for the Vikings at the Griffon 26. A lot of energy coming from that Tarboro crowd over there as they are ready for something to cheer about. They are up and ready here. Omarion Lewis takes the snap and hands the ball off again. And he is well across height. Tackled by DeAndre Lynch, but not before. He is well across the line. We got a little extracurricular activity going, and you can tell both of these teams are feeling the anxiety building here late in the third quarter. The Vikings have now moved the ball 1st and 10 at the Griffon 16-yard line. Tarboro crowd getting into it on the side. Lewis hands the ball off once again to Tobias Joyner. Joyner may have picked up just a few yards on the play. With 3:20 remaining in the third quarter, still 6-0 Griffons. Going to give Joyner 5 yards on the play, bring up 2nd and 5. And this may come down to who has the ball last at this point as the defenses continue to do very well. Lewis hands the ball off once again to Joyner.
Joyner the ball carrier. Bachelor on the stop.
There is an injured Griffon, and we will have an official timeout as they tend to the injured player. And we will also take a break here on the WHIG TV High School Game of the Week, brought to you by our main sponsor, JR's Maintenance. Proud to support student athletes. JR's Maintenance, commercial and industrial metal fabrication services. We'll be right back after this break.
JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
Welcome back to the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week here at Griffon Stadium in Rocky Mount with 2:30 remaining. It is Griffon 6 and Tarboro 0. Ball is handed off once again to Tobias Joyner. He has certainly been quarterback Amarion Lewis's favorite back here in tonight's game.
It's fourth down.
To bring up fourth down for the Vikings. 4th and 2. With 1:55 remaining in the game, and the Vikings will be going for it here. Jason Ward rushing in at the last. Marion Lewis. Ball is handed off to number 10, Trayvon White. And White will get the first down.
He has a Viking first down.
It'll be a first down.
At the 3-yard line.
It's first and goal at the 3-yard line for the Vikings as they are threatening here to at least tie it momentarily. We'll see if the Griffon defense can stand here. Lewis under center, 3 backs, no receivers out to either side. Ball handed off, and he is in the end zone, but there is a flag on the play. Hold on. There is a flag. We will see what the call is. It is a holding on Tarboro. Just when Tobias Joyner found plenty of running room on that right side, the Tarboro sideline and crowd not too happy with the call. But that touchdown will come back for a 10-yard penalty, holding on the Vikings.
The ball is back at the 15-yard line.
Ball will go from the 3-yard line all the way back to the 15-yard line. Now it'll be first and goal from the 15 for the Vikings. .47 seconds left in the third quarter. Lewis hands the ball off to number 15, Jamarion Dozier. Dozier spins off the first tackle, but is unable to elude Stephen Batchelor, who is in on the tackle for the Griffons. And Dozier is dropped for a loss. Lost about 2 yards on that play. Bring up second and goal from the 17-yard line. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be the end of the third quarter here at Griffon Stadium. With your score, Rocky Mount 6, Tarboro 0. Welcome back to the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week here at Griffon Stadium. We are beginning the fourth quarter of play here. Tarboro has the football. And they ran a flea flicker play here as the ball was pitched to Tobias Joyner, and then he dropped back to pass, and the ball fell incomplete near the goal line. Not a bad idea coming out of the third quarter timeout. A little trickery there, but the Griffon defense was well prepared for the play and was able to snuff it out. Now we're looking at a third and goal from the 19-yard line. Can the Griffon defense hold once again? Lewis under center with 3 backs. Ball is handed off once again to Tobias Joyner. Not much room there for Joyner as he is met by another line of Griffon defenders.
Tackle made by DeMarcus Cross.
DeMarcus Cross on the stop. Give major credit to the Griffon defensive coaches here. Tarboro moving the ball extremely well, and this drive had it all the way down to the 3-yard line. And the Griffon defense is prepared to potentially keep them completely off the scoreboard here with a 4th and 10. Lewis under center. He drops back. He's pushed out to the right side, and he is going to be sacked. Jaquan Horn all over Amarion Lewis. Lewis tried to look for that space out to the right side, and the Griffon defense realized he was going to be passing that football, and they were all over it. Lewis tried to get past the defense, but was unable to do so. And that will be a turnover on downs. Griffon's got to feel extremely fortunate to get out of that possession with keeping Tarboro off of the scoreboard. You'll recall Tarboro had the ball 1st and goal at the 3-yard line and comes away with nothing. That could very well be at the huge turning point of this football game. As now the Griffons will take over 1st and 10 with 11 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the game. Stephon Jones in the shotgun. He's going to hand the ball off to his fullback, who maybe picks up 2 yards on the play. Once again, we've been praising the defenses of both of these teams all night long. No bigger praise than what we just saw there from a Griffon defense, keeping Tarboro off of the scoreboard with 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. It's 2nd and 9 now with 10:30 to go in the game. Rocky Mount still clinging to that 6-0 lead. Jones in the shotgun. He is going to hand the ball off once again to number 17, Elijah Battle. And
Elijah Battle, the ball carrier.
Going to move the chains, I believe, with a pickup of 9 yards on the play.
It is a Griffon 1st down.
Give credit to Battle there. He felt the initial tackle and did not go down. That is one thing I've been very impressed with Elijah Battle here tonight. He feels that initial hit, and he just keeps going. And the same result there as he was able to gain a few extra yards there and move those chains for the Griffons. Is now 1st and 10 for the Griffons. Jones back in the shotgun. He's been in the shotgun most of the night. He gets the snap and hands the ball off once again to Elijah Battle. Battle not as fortunate on this particular handoff. Still picked up a yard or 2 on the play. Bring up 2nd and 9, or maybe 2nd and 8 for the Griffons.
It's 2nd down.
9:30 remaining in the game. At this point, if you're the Griffons, you don't have to do too much. You can play with the clock a little bit. You have the lead. Tarboro has not been able to score all night, so if you're the Griffons, you're not really in any hurry here. You can stay conservative. You don't want to do anything crazy and turn the ball over. Jones receives the snap, hands the ball off once again to Battle. Battle met maybe after picking up a yard.
Battle on the carry.
As you say, the Tarboro offense has
Battle on the tackle.
not been on the scoreboard all night, and so the score could stay right where it is for the rest of the night. The Griffons would take it. 3rd and 8 here at their own 45-yard line with 8:40 to go in the 4th quarter. The JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week. Jones in the shotgun with 2 receivers out to his left. He will juke to the left. He's flushed out of the pocket, and he will be brought down by 2 Tarboro defenders. Nazavion Black leads the tackle.
It's 4th down.
And that'll bring up 4th and a mile for the Griffons here. Will be forced to punt in this situation. You got to get some field position back and take it away from Tarboro here. Fourth and 15 as Jason Ward comes in to punt for the Griffons. The Vikings will have 2 players back to receive the punt. Tobias Joyner and Dozier. Dozier receives the punt and is brought down just shy of the 30-yard line. And the Vikings will take over again here with 7:27 remaining in this game. Rocky Mount still clinging to that 6-0 lead. They scored that touchdown earlier in the first quarter, and then just both defenses have just gone on high alert here. It's always hard in game number one to decide, are we just seeing great defense or are we just seeing offenses that haven't found their rhythm yet? You know, it is game one. I would lean more towards we're seeing two incredible defenses here tonight. Amarion Lewis under center with three backs, no receivers. So Tarboro once again making it obvious they are just going to run the football. Ball handed off to Bridgers.
Williams, the ball carrier.
And he
Williams
is
on the tackle.
tackled by Jaquan Williams for the Griffons. 2nd and 10. I'm a little bit surprised at this point of the game to see Tarboro not lining up any receivers. You know, with 7 minutes to go in the game and you haven't scored, you got to air it out and get this ball moving. And once again, Lewis under center with just three backs and no receivers to either side. This time his back gains about 9 yards as he found some space there and grabbed him by the shirt there, but was unable to bring him down before he got near the first down yard marker. That was Tobias Joyner on the carry. Joyner has definitely been the workhorse
31
for this Tarboro running game here tonight. Crucial third down here for the Vikings is 3rd and 1 after Tobias Joyner's 9-yard gain. He sprints over to the sideline. Tarboro lining up one receiver to the left. That is Nizavion Black. Ball is handed off again. He will be across the line for a first down.
Javon White for the ball.
White on the carry. Hodges on the tackle for the Griffons. And we have another injured Griffon, Stephen Batchelor is the injured Griffon. And with 6:40 remaining in the game, your score, Rocky Mount 6, Tarboro 0. We will take another timeout here to tend to the injured player here on the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week.
JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
Marion Lewis on the handoff. There is a flag on the play. on this 1st and 10 play by the Vikings. They're holding on Tarboro. It'll be a 10-yard penalty, and that will back things up and make it 1st and 20 for the Vikings. And penalties are something that they can ill afford at this point of the game. You got to play more disciplined football. 6 minutes to go in the game, and you have not scored. Coach Craddock is not going to be pleased with that penalty. So that'll make it 1st and 20 from their own 21-yard line. Lewis will bring his offense back to the line with, once again, the familiar 3 backs and no receivers. None to the left, none to the right. Lewis. And there is another flag. This time I think we had some movement on the Griffon line. That'll be a 5-yard penalty on the Griffons for offsides on the defense. Make it 1st and 15 now as Vikings will get 5 of those yards back. Lewis hands the ball off once again to number 24, Tobias Joyner. He is stopped short of the original line of scrimmage, maybe picked up 3 yards on the play.
Tobias Joyner on the ball carrier.
That'll bring up 2nd and 12.
On the tackle.
Taquan Williams on the tackle for the Griffons. 5:55 remaining in the game. Your score is still Rocky Mount 6, Tarboro 0. We're getting everything we wish for tonight in this tight game. Lewis lines up with 3 backs. The ball is pitched over to the left side. Tobias Joyner gains about 4 yards on the play, and he is dropped by a host of Griffon defenders. Cameron Jones, the main tackler there for the Griffon. We'll bring up 3rd and 6. It'll be interesting to see what both of these coaches say after this game, what they saw, what they liked, what they didn't like. I would say both defensive coaches have got to be happy with what they've seen. Offense, maybe a few things to work on both ends. But center, the ball is fumbled. It is immediately picked up by back from Tarboro. And even after the fumble, he gained maybe 3 yards on the play. Still going to be 4th down for the Vikings. We're going to be looking at 4th and 5 here with 4:29 remaining in the game. 4th and 5 for the Vikings. And it appears that they are going to punt the football away. Interesting call here with 4 minutes to go. You might have been expecting a little more urgency here, but it appears that they are going to try to pin Rocky Mount back deep, play defense, and try one last time. The snap is low. Leighton Dupree gets off a beautiful punt, but it lands out of bounds. That is a very favorable spot there from the official.
The ball is on the 40-yard line.
But I think he came back a little bit more than originally thought, and he will mark it out at the 40-yard line where the Griffons will take over. 1st and 10. 3:56 remaining. And we will take our next time out here on the WHIG TV JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week. We'll be right back. 3:56 remaining in the game. Stephon Jones under center. He is going to hand the ball off to number 17, Elijah Battle. Battle is across the 40-yard line. Lots of running room there for Battle. And that will move the chains for the Griffons. A big play coming out of that possession. Battle gaining nearly 30 yards on the play. The ball will be spotted at the 39-yard line of Tarboro. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Griffons. Griffons testing themselves early in the season. They will be joining a brand new conference. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. Jones receives the snap and hands the ball off once again. Elijah Battle gains about 6 yards on the play. Once again, Rocky joining a brand new conference this year, a split 3A, 2A conference. They will have familiar foes, Frank, Northern Nash, 3A side, and will be joined on the 2A side by Bunn, Lewisburg, Runnock Rapids, and crosstown rival Nash Central. Forming a 8-team 3A, 2A split conference. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I know Nash Central is glad to be back in a conference with their local friends. Jaquan Horn on the carry. He's down near the 20-yard line. Horn bouncing off the initial tackle.
Tackle by Lewis.
And surge forward for an extra 5 yards. And it will move the chains for the Griffons with 2:21 remaining in the game. And Griffons still clinging to that 6-0 lead. As we mentioned, Nash Central has been out of the conference for the last 4 or 5 years. And with this new 3A, 2A look, they will rejoin the conference, but will still play from the 2A level. They will still play all the conference opponents, but in the state playoffs, the 3As will only meet 3As and 2As will only meet 2As. So Nash Central could not play Rocky Mount or Northern in the state playoffs, although they are conference foes this year. Jones, this time Horn on the pitch. Horn is across the 15-yard line.
Horn, the ball carrier.
He picks up about 7 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4, we'll say. And there's a timeout on the field with 1:56 remaining in the game. Griffons 6, Vikings 0. So give us a chance to run down some of our fine sponsors. Edgecombe Community College, your success is our goal. New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans apply today. 2 locations to serve you at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro. Also the Small Shops Mall at 2916 Sunset Avenue in the former Steinbart building. Dozens of locally owned shops also opening soon at the Trade It, located adjacent to the Small Shops. And Don Bullock Chevrolet. Don't forget to do it the better way at Don Bullock Chevrolet. We have fans beginning to find their way to the exits here, which is a little surprising here. Still 2 minutes to go in this game. It is absolutely not over by any stretch of the imagination. Some already heading for their cars. And just one fumble away from this still being anybody's ball game. And one of the fans' favorite parts of the game is the T-shirt toss here, as the cheerleaders are throwing T-shirts to the fans. And it looks like one of our favorite fans, Taquan Moore, received a T-shirt. We'll see if it's the right size. Jones hands the ball off to Cameron Jones, but there's another flag on the play. Always good to see the kids get the little footballs and the T-shirts. It looks like Taquan Moore gave his shirt to a child, so we appreciate him doing that. That was very kind of him. You like to see that. You like to see that because the kids are really who deserves the shirts and the footballs here at the game. So kudos to Taquan Moore. I believe Taquan is a graduate of Rocky Mount. So he is from the class of 2016, I believe. So he is making the day of a young Griffon fan here. Stephon Jones and the shotgun. .150 remaining in the game. And you can see the excitement of the kids here in the stands. They want a shirt as well. The snap goes to Jaquan Horn.
On the carry.
He is stopped short after gaining about 2 yards. And the Vikings will take their second timeout of the half. And with 1:42 remaining in the game, it is Griffon 6, Vikings 0. Next week we will be at Northern Nash for the Demons of Fike taking on Northern Nash. That used to be a conference matchup, but now with their conference realignment, that is a non-conference game. As most of the games, from my understanding, are still taking place tomorrow night here. It's always good to see fellow students and alumni come back to games like this. The student section is still going over there for the Griffons, and great alumni still get to come back and watch these games. It's always fun to see, especially those from the class of 2016 like Taquan Moore. .142 remaining as Jones is in the shotgun. He's got one receiver out to his right, one to his left, and one back. He's flushed over to the right. And he is in the end zone. Jaquan Horn is able to bounce off several Tarboro defenders. He was met at the 10-yard line, continued to bounce off the defenders, and made his way into the end zone for a Griffon touchdown. And after a long, scoreless drought, the Griffons get 6 more on the board, and it is now 12-0 with 1:32 remaining in the game. They will line up and go for 2 here. 12-0 with 1:32 remaining in the game. Just what the home fans wanted. One more touchdown to kind of seal the deal here, and that will make the Griffons feel a little bit better here. A 2-touchdown victory just feels a little bit sweeter than a 1 touchdown. 2-point conversion attempt is no good, as the pass was intended for Celio Alfonso. And with 1:32 remaining in the game, Rocky Mount 12, Tarboro 0. We'll take our final timeout here on the JR's Maintenance WHIG TV High School Game of the Week. We'll be right back.
JR's Maintenance High School Football Game of the Week, presented by JR's Maintenance.
As we emerge from the pandemic, Edgecombe Community College pledges to support students with free tuition and fees. That's right, free tuition and fees. Known as the Edgecombe Pledge, the program is for all qualifying students. At Edgecombe, students get everything they need to succeed. And now students can get even more with free tuition and fees. Learn more at edgecombe.edu/pledge. Get more than an education. Get the edge. Edgecombe Community College.
Today's game is being brought to you in part by New Southern Loans, personal and auto loans. Apply today at 2405 West Nash Street in Wilson and 2226 North Main Street in Tarboro.
Small Shops Marketplace is now Small Shops Mall. We're still the same inside with dozens of locally owned shops, all under one roof. Local shop local at Small Shops Mall, 2916 Sunset Avenue, in the former Steinmart building.
Ever wonder why people are buying more SUVs these days? SUVs are comfortable, can carry more, fuel efficient, safer, better off-road, pet and kid-friendly with a refined style, and there's one for any size family. Don Bullock Chevrolet offers more variety in SUVs than any other dealer. Choose from 7 different SUV models for 2021. Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way.
To the WHIG TV Game of the Week. We're at Griffon Stadium in Rocky Mount. And that last touchdown run by Jaquan Horn has sent the majority of, at least the Tarboro side of things, heading for the exits. To nothing. Was 6-0 for a long time. And Quan Horn was able to scamper into the end zone. I guess technically it's not over till it's over. Considering the Vikings have not dented the scoreboard, it is unlikely for them to score twice in a minute. But as soon as we say that, they break through. And he was one shoestring tackle from possibly taking that one to the house.
Biggs on the return.
On the return for the Vikings. So sure, players. Lewis hands the ball off once again to Tobias Joyner, who has to have 25 to 30 carries in this game. He has definitely been the workhorse for the Vikings here on the running side. Just hasn't been able to find enough space. Kudos to this Griffon defense for just smothering out every running room for Tarboro. Lewis hands the ball off to number 20, Jamari Wade. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a statistician, and I'm going to have to look this up, but there is no telling when last time Tarboro High School is. There is no telling how long you have to go back in the history books to find that stat. Lewis sacked in the backfield. He is brought down by DeAndre Lynch. The last play of the night. Although the clock has stopped now it continues to run. And Tarboro is going to concede and walk off the field with 7 seconds remaining. And in a battle of perennial powerhouses, your final Mount 12, Tarboro 0. And once again,
the many years of service of the Stony Creek Rescue Squad,
we are watching the COVID handshake, as we call it, whereas teams are no longer allowed to shake hands with each other. And that is going to be your final score for tonight's game. Rocky Mount 12 and Tarboro 0. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on the JR's Maintenance High School Game of the Week. Don't forget our sponsors, Edgecombe Community College, New Southern Loans, Small Shops Mall, and Don Bullock Chevrolet. Thank you for joining us tonight. Your final score, Rocky Mount 12, Tarboro 0.